Welcome to part 6 of Pixels Plays Mass Effect. And as you may notice, we have no background art whatsoever. This little hard drive appears to be broken. It has everything that makes Pixels Plays, besides me. But who knows, maybe I'm on this thing too. Ooh, I'm disappearing. I'm slowly fading away. I can actually probably do that effect with the green screen. Um, oh my god, man. Do Back to the Future effect on my head. No. But yeah. Everything that like presentationally makes Pixels Plays. Besides myself, besides I guess the green screen effect, and I guess just the all the setup files, I guess more or less for OBS, um, are on here. As you know, it's not plugged in. When it is plugged in, my Windows detects it as a device, but not as a hard drive. So I have no idea how to deal with that. And the thing is, when it's plugged in, it causes lots of weird problems. Like when I restart my PC, it won't like fully boot up when it's plugged in. Like when I go to restart, it like just stuck on restart, and then I unplug this, and then it just properly restarts. So this may have some kind of virus on it. I don't know. Like I don't know, like what I could have downloaded that would have included a virus, or there's a particular type of computer virus that like does this, that makes a hard drive just inaccessible, and then basically just as long as the hard drive is plugged in, it causes all sorts of problems. Like the latest problem I discovered is that when I had it plugged in, the webcam wouldn't show up in OBS. So I'm like, okay, because I don't have any webcam, what the hell's going on? And I unplugged it, and now the webcam's working. So it's interfering with like other USB devices, I guess. I don't know. Like I'm completely baffled as to what's going on with this hard drive. I also tried plugging it into my laptop. I don't know if it had any of the other problems because I didn't really tested that, but it doesn't show up on my laptop either. Although it had a little bit of a problem with my laptop because it's on my bed, and sitting on the bed, the connection of the USB cable gets a little wonky. But other than that, it's worked fine up until now. So I have no idea. I don't know if I need a new cable. I don't know if having a defective cable causes this much trouble. Like I get an Amazon Basics version of this cable and see if that works. But then it's like $7. I'm not sure if I want to pay $7 for a cable that may or may not help me. You know, okay, I've got a notification that says like I have Xbox Rewards app available now on Xboxes here. Install an Xbox One now. I don't have an Xbox One. Yeah, I might need to buy a new backup hard drive and then maybe figure out if there's a way to like transfer this data onto it, or at least the important stuff. I have no idea. Or there's a way to just to repair it. So anyone could mention in the comments any suggestions on how to troubleshoot this and how to like recover it, like preferably on my own. I don't know. I don't know. I had to hire some kind of service, whatever. So we can't roll our intro videos on the hard drive. So the intro video is gone. Like I had to make a new one, and I also have to get an external hard drive just in the interim or whatever, just to Like, cause I have like 30 gigabytes of free space on my uh my regular hard drive, and the SSD I had even less. So yeah, I barely had any space left on this thing, and that's 4 terabytes. Like that's just how much stuff I tend to download. Um, so I may be needing to get another hard drive anyway, but I don't like losing 4 terabytes of data, including just everything Pixels Plays related, like title cards, like the Tales of Vesperia stuff. Like that's just gone. If I want to resume Tales of Vesperia, I'm just going to come up with something. Uh, you know, that's a lot of work. That's just I had all my eggs in one basket. That's kind of my fault, sort of. But hard drives are expensive. Like buying a second hard drive just to have a backup of well, this isn't really a backup. But like I literally am using this for like data, which I'm not sure you really should do with an external hard drive, but it's more convenient than having to like get an internal one and install it. Maybe I should get. I don't know how you install an internal hard drive in this configuration. I don't know. But I'm really pissed off that this has happened. I also had a heart attack, not a literal, like a figurative heart attack, when I tried to restart my computer because it was acting all weird, and then it wouldn't restart, so I just shut it off, and then I turned it back on again, and then it didn't start up until I unplugged the hard drive, and then like it was kind of fine. And then I got like 2 different Windows updates. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just so backed up on Windows updates that because I barely restart my computer ever, which is a whole other thing. But anyway, we're gonna be doing this very threadbare, probably for a while. We're just gonna have plain black background because I could try to recreate the pixels background. I could try to recreate the. It might actually be fairly easy to recreate the Starfield thing, but I don't sure if it will have like the faint grid in the background. I'm losing my motivation here because I'm seriously like discouraged by this whole event. Maybe playing some more Mass Effect will make me feel better. Hopefully, none of the data was like on the hard drive. I know like the main game data was on the D drive. I think the documents data is also on the hard drive. If the save files were like on the D drive, I'm going to cancel the stream basically. This is just gonna be a vlog of sorts. I don't know. Like, it's just so frustrating. Also, like, the thing is, I use Fingerhut. You can find external hard drives on Fingerhut and make gradual payments. You pay more overall, but you can make gradual payments on an external hard drive. They do not offer internal hard drives that you can buy off of Fingerhut. You can buy PCs off of Fingerhut, and I bought this PC off of PC I'm using right now off of Fingerhut. But yeah, I don't think you can buy internal hard drives off of Fingerhut, and I don't have like any credit cards or anything that I can like use to make payments on it. So yeah, I had PayPal credit for a while, but then that got hacked, and now that PayPal credit was basically canceled. I'm still making payments on it, but I can't like earn any credit or spend any credit on PayPal credit. It's just paying off my outstanding debt to PayPal credit, which is still fairly significant. So maybe it's better not that I don't add to that debt, but Um, Still, I don't know. Like, remember the fund us on Patreon so we can get a new hard drive. We can get an actual internal hard drive. It isn't gonna have problems. Hopefully. Yeah, let's roll. No, we can't roll the intro video. We have to go straight into PC capture. I should get my hoodie so I don't freeze to death. Oh, the test of the sound this time. Remember to do that. They had the option to resume. Great. At least one thing's working right.
We'll be taking her for counseling.
Yeah,
Thank you again for the help.
we just helped this, also, yeah, we had a lot of, she's still passed out. Yeah, like looking at, like, all the information on our backstory, I imagine it would be Batarians, and also, I kind of just want to talk about, things that I've sort of worked out about Xandra. One, I think I've established that kind of the origin of her name. For myself anyway. I'll establish it for you now. Basically, her full name is Alexandra, and basically, as a child, foreshortening or whatever the heck, nickname sort of thing, shortening her name. There are a lot of people, both male and female, who are named Alex. So she may have had like classmates who were named Alex. And rather than, having her teachers and friends just call her by her full name, Alexandra, she's like, just call me Xandra. Like, don't use the first part of the name, use the last part of the name. It sounds cooler anyway. So yeah, she that's how she came to be called Xandra. Xandra Shepherd. And the truth of the matter is, from my side of things, it was just like just a name that popped in my head when I was creating the character. Yeah, I should also like talk. Another thing I've been thinking about a little bit is her attitude toward, or attitude, if you will, um, her attitude towards aliens. Like she is, if she's racist against any kind of group of aliens, it probably would be Batarians, and with some good reason because they may or may not have been the ones who raided her colony. that she was on and done all sorts of terrible things to people, including that lady we saw back there. Hopefully, you didn't mind reading the subtitles um, rather than actually hearing it, because my bad. Um, and I'm paying for it somehow. Karma's a bitch. Uh, but anyway, I'm imagining it was Batarian slavers. I'm imagining that most slavers are Batarian, but not all Batarians are slavers. Uh, but yeah, she's a little Grant. She's shown a bit in the uh, Bring Down the Sky DLC, which I didn't even realize was the DLC until after I completed it, and I go, oh yeah, like that was a DLC, because I don't think the Batarians really appear in much of anything else. Um, uh, in Mass Effect One, outside of the DLC, and of course like the ruthless backstory particularly. Um, but I wonder if it was like a detail that they added with the DLC, basically, because the actual description doesn't like mention. I don't think really mention Batarians at all. It just mentions like, oh, there was a mission, and you know, she was kind of ruthless. So I think that maybe the Bring Down the Sky DLC was actually kind of in part to sort of address the fact that there wasn't really much backstory to her backstory of being ruthless. Um, it is kind of the odd duck of the of the more characterization based backstories. Um, but anyway, she's generally not racist towards aliens in particular. Um, maybe her upbringing, maybe just. Actually, I think the idea was that I had in mind that she was, as the XO of Normandy at the time, she may have actually been kind of involved in its construction, like not necessarily, but like she may have had interactions with Turians, particularly while the Normandy was being constructed, and you know, she's kind of come to learn, Turians were like enemies of like one of the first races we basically alien races that we went to war with, and so kind of learning, first cooperative process of creating Normandy. She's kind of learned to appreciate Turians and Turian culture, um, and kind of just the idea of aliens just having these different cultures, and she may be a little bit fascinated by it. But she also knows that there's certain races that seem to be particularly bad. And Batarians she feels are kind of like she. If there's a good Batarian, she hasn't met one yet, and she doesn't even know what to look for if she finds one. Um, and the whole incident with Torfin, I think I'm beginning to memorize it. Was just, I mean, her I guess killing people who had surrendered. I think was the thing. Um, uh, I'm not sure if it's even going to be like revealed here in any detail, because I think again it might be entirely in Bring Down the Sky, independent on which dialogue options we picked. But yeah, like there are people who had surrendered, and she killed them anyway, and a lot of humans died as well. Like 3/4 of her crew died. So I think she kind of let her emotions get away with her. And she does have a very ruthless, get the job done mentality, but also it's a combination of her backstory. Her even if it wasn't Batarians, like she certainly at the very least has a problem with slavers. So it may not even have to do exclusively with the race as much as um, just being slavers or involved with slavers, having some connection with slavers. Um, you know, uh, she just kind of got really and understandably angry. And with all of these crew having died in this situation, she was just. I think she was kind of just done and didn't. Again, she let her emotions get away with her, and she did some things she may not have ordinarily done, like killing people who were surrendering, um, who may have even been more or less innocent aside from being, like, I guess, in the wrong place at the wrong time, or they were just kind of doing mercenary stuff. I don't know. But anyway, her letting the Batarians go was, like, purely kind of pragmatic at the moment, because of if she has an opportunity to just scare them away and not have to deal with them, they aren't necessarily, they're not slavers, they're terrorists, which may be just as bad, but, like, they're, in a purely pragmatic point of view, I guess, they're not, they're looking to killing people and enslaving people. Like, killing people is like that, granted, there's liable to be a lot of suffering in this case. Just, I mean, it's quite likely that there's going to be a fair amount of suffering. Still, I suppose. Like, the people who are, like, in the blast zone of this asteroid are going to die very quickly. The people who are a little bit outside, hopefully they can evacuate. I mean, I guess, in spacefaring civilization, it could be very possible for them to evacuate. Likely they're going to lose their home, they're going to be suffering in that sense. Some people may have health issues related to inhaling, being exposed to the debris, be exposed to the blast, maybe, toward the outer rim of it. I don't know, like, it could be fairly terrible. But at least you're still free. And being dead is maybe a certain type of freedom in a way. Maybe not the right kind of freedom, but but it's kind of, in general, it's better to die than to be a slave. If it was literally a choice, live in slavery with maybe little hope to ever escape that slavery. But maybe just for sake of example, like, there would be absolutely no hope to, or dying. Freedom or death, like, basically, hey, Yuki, that's kind of even the thing, like the American Revolution, I think was, one of the famous sayings. So yeah, like, terrorism is one thing, like, just wanton killing people, but enslaving people is much worse and should be a lot less sympathetic toward people who she knew were involved in that sort of thing. Maybe these people are, maybe they aren't. Not all Batarians are slavers. Some of them just. So I think these may be more mercenaries. And so you can kind of understand mercenary work a little bit better. Which I guess brings to her opinion on Krogans, who may be involved in slave trade to some extent, but they aren't, like, necessarily the ones who are trading in slaves so much. From, like, what I understand, they may help slavers, as mercenaries, but and she'll certainly kill them, but like she's not gonna think to all Krogan. Like her understanding of Krogans is perhaps more limited than I don't know. I mean, I think that her impartiality is probably even just, you know, given her history, her impartiality towards you know, towards Batarians in particular may be a little compromised. Whereas Krogans, she can kind of understand, like, okay, they're some of them are mercenaries. Like, if I had to kill them, I will, you know, if they're in my way. But just like any race, if humans in her way, she'll kill them. Like, you know, she won't hesitate. Um, you know, she's a soldier first and foremost, and also she is, you know, ruthless. Um, but anyway, yeah, that's kind of a little bit of my thoughts. And she is intrigued by alien races, and she kind of disagrees with Ashley to some extent. You know, I think in particular, like her impression of the Asari from, you know, what she's looked up and what she studied and what in her interactions with Liara is that they are perhaps the most open to other races of the council races, and you know, yeah, I think, you know, that they, it's kind of part of their culture in a way, is to, you know, and their mating apparently is very much centered around interactions with other races. So I think that they are a lot more open to alliances, and they're also the peacekeepers. So and she's intrigued by that because has never been particularly good at peacekeeping and and handling things that way, and she kind of maybe wants to get better at that in a way. And, you know, unfortunately, Laura might not be the best teacher because she is so young and naive, and you know, but I think this kind of, you know, her attraction to Yasari in a way is, well, they're very beautiful for one. There's also like another subject I kind of want to talk about. I mean, it's a bit of a spoiler for some of the future, some dialogue that we'll hear in future Mass Effect games. But there is the idea that maybe Asari are psychically projecting some kind of illusion that makes them look like an attractive member of our own species, but just a little bit different. You know, because like Solarians are saying like, oh no, they look like a Solarian. Turians saying, oh, then they look like a Turian. You know, or if we use like they look like humans. But I think that was almost like a gag in a way. Like it was. I think it would be like one of the writers wanting to plant an interesting little seed, but I don't think it necessarily means anything to the greater canon of Mass Effect, because when you really think about it, when you give it any thought, like, okay, one, there are, of the alien races, there are one of a few, of only a small handful that are particularly humanoid. The Quarians probably being the only other one that I can think of offhand. Batarians are humanoid, I guess, you know, in their own way. But, you know, their faces are distinctively not quite human, and the four eyes is a little unnerving. But yeah, like, they are. I mean, we don't yet know how that Quarians look like photoshopped humans. But yeah, I can't. I think there would be one other race I was thinking of when I was thinking of like races that are relatively humanoid. But yeah, I say like the Quarians sort of, and of course the Asari. But yeah, you know, when you think about like, you know, like it's like security footage, for one, would potentially show like, unless somehow this like psychic imprint just is so deeply embedded into your mind or something, that like any image of an Asari, like including the AI at the Citadel. I also would assume and imagine that this is like just a natural ability that the Asari have. It's not something that like they are actively doing to deceive people consciously, because that also brings up like a lot of weird questions, like about like Liara, like you're this whole time you're lying to us like you about your appearance or something. I think it may just be some sort of natural psychic thing that Asari just do, that they don't necessarily have control over. But the other problem, even if it's that, then it you know somehow it affects every image of Asari that someone sees. Um, you know, what if, for example, your very first exposure to an Asari is a video of an Asari, or a picture of an Asari, or Avina, before you ever meet an Asari in person, within range to be affected by this like I don't know, like psychic parasite, or I don't know, this thing that just imprints into your brain, never goes out, even if you aren't actually looking at in the presence of an actual Asari. And also, like, this discussion is like the only time it's ever been brought up in the long history of the Asari interacting with other alien species. It's never come up, and the Asari never like looked into it, even if they like aren't aware of their own ability. Like, it brings up too many questions. There's too many questions. Too many questions. So I think it was just kind of a gag, for the most part, and it may not be meant to be taken that seriously. Like, if they really wanted to flesh out the idea, they'd have to work really hard to make it, but it actually, really fit. And properly make sense. Like it's just a little too much. Anyway, this is just another little of my rants about about random things. Let's actually try to play the game now. I don't think there's anything else for us to really do on the Citadel at present. I think we're just gonna kind of explore. I think I might do some more exploring and such.
Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
What a relief.
Message coming in. Patch you through.
Commander, Miss Al-Jalani's story on you just aired. You don't come off very well. She talked rings around you.
I should have killed her.
I should have shot her. Dumped her body into a star.
That wouldn't have solved the problem, but I'm sure it would have felt good, though. There is one other matter, however. The Citadel has been trying to play down Saren going rogue. It makes the Spectres look bad. Your mention of him was politically inconvenient.
I think this is Lance Hendrickson, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I had a feeling about that right after I said that. Should I like really apologize? Like, she kind of cares.
How angry was the council?
About what you'd expect. Don't worry too much about it, Commander. They're always angry with us. I won't keep you any longer. Fifth Fleet out.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Also, next time I see her, I'm probably am gonna punch her. Like, she's good. She's like good at kind of manipulating and spinning the news. But like like to really know that would be like to metagame at this point. So and there'll be plenty of opportunities to punch her throughout the series. So don't you worry, she will get hers. There's Nevera, there's Pharos, Anakin Beta, Horsehead Nebula. I think the Horsehead Nebula is where like a lot of other stuff is. We're gonna get hawking at us. That's where the party is at. Rest in peace. If it's based on Stephen Hawking, anyway.
Message coming in, Commander. Big surprise. The Alliance needs you again.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett with Alliance Command. We've got a mission for you. Major Kyle, your commanding officer Torfin, has set up a small compound in the Hulkingetta cluster. He's attracted a number of biotic followers. He's become an outspoken critic of the Alliance, and we believe he's mentally unstable. This could be trouble, Shepard.
Maybe you're overreacting.
I'll look into it.
3 days ago, we sent 2 Alliance representatives to meet with him at his compound. They've disappeared. We believe Kyle and his followers killed them. That compound is a cult, Shepard. They call him Father Kyle now. He set himself up as some kind of religious leader.
How permanent a solution are you looking for?
We don't want this to turn into a massacre, Commander. Kyle is dangerous. I trust you to use your judgment. Hack it out.
In that case, you want me to kill him. You know my judgment, don't you? Like my judgment is usually involves killing people. So if you trust that judgment, then he's good as dead. But you don't want it to be massacre, so I'll be sure to kill him and not be other people. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually in the system or it's just like we travel anywhere and we get that message. Okay, this is not, there's nothing to scan here. Nothing to see here, folks. Okay, survey. Medallion recovered. While scanning the planet Faropto, you discovered a tiny moon with some odd readings. Further scans by Chief Engineer Adams revealed a destroyed escape pod. Your salvage team recovered components and found a League of One medallion. Survey. Light metal surveyed while scanning the planet. Took a significant deposit of cobalt. Kundagon. Or Dagon? I don't know. Press crop. Ah, here we go. This is an actual place we can land. Might be where this whole thing is gonna take place. Prosrop is a balloon of Clendagon. I was gonna call it Clendagon in honor of H.P. Lovecraft. It is a frigid, barren world with an extremely thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane. The crust contains plentiful deposits of heavy metals. Heavy metals! The Alliance has opened bidding for the moon's mineral rights, but exploitation will be complicated by this proximity to the 5 kiloparsec ring around the galactic core. The ring is an area of intense star formation and is too dangerous to safely travel. Presarup's landscape is a nightmare of jagged, overlapping ridges and geological shock zones created by some ancient disaster. This has not deterred a generation of illegal wildcat miners from attempting to exploit Moon's mineral riches. Unfortunately, many have lost their lives. Time to get into Mako. So normally it's a little easier to get to over this way. Looks like. I just Oh, come on. That doesn't help us. Cluster of prefab utility shacks have distinctly natural look to them. A set of rubber tracks lead away over the mountain ridge to the southwest. I need to see if I can upgrade how much we can upgrade our equipment. The medium armor we have right now is pretty advanced. Let's still look at what is she trained in terms of Also, oh, we need body camp. I know he has sniper rifles, so that's the body camp compound right there. Okay, cool. Let's see how much we can navigate over these. Climb every mountain. Whee! Yay! I don't want to talk about when they say the controls are bouncy. They're just fine.
Understood.
Yeah. Just give it to us. Oh, come on. Turning a signal recovered. It's digging under the beacon revealed a piece of scrap metal, likely from a very old freighter. It is marked on one side with the Macedonian outpost insignia. Further over is crumpled in from impact. A glance inside tells you that the occupants, probably a team of illegal wildcat miners, are dead. Debris is still sliding down the furrows left by the tires, silent in a near vacuum atmosphere. Look at the debris, but I think if it's anything like last time. Be someone like trained in tech or whatever to. This is definitely a nightmarish landscape. I'm kind of concerned that mods may actually kind of make it worse in some ways. Like, scaling mountains, jumping doesn't really work because it just makes us lose all traction. We probably can't do anything with it because
I'm on my way.
the electronic skill's too low. Usually just go to all these planets with Tali and
This is a private sanctuary. Outsiders are not welcome here.
I need to talk to the man in charge. It's important.
Father Kyle wants nothing more to do with the Alliance.
My name is Commander Shepard. Major Kyle knows me. I have to speak to him.
Wait. Father Kyle will speak with you. Head to the building at the far end of the compound. He'll meet you there.
building at the far end of the compound.
Father Kyle says we biotics have to stick together.
This is the other, like, reference to Torfin. It looks a lot like an arena, though. Okay, same old party line. I wouldn't mind us me taking away some of these commandeering some of these weapons from you. Didn't know where medical kits are. There's something that way, so.
The Alliance wants to wipe us out. Father Kyle told us.
Okay. They're paranoid too, okay. Great. All the good things.
I know you, the Butcher of Torfan. Why have you come here, Shepard? Why can't you leave us alone?
What happened to those other Alliance officers? The ones who came before me?
They wanted to take me away from here. They wanted me to abandon this place, turn my back on my family. They spoke blasphemy. I did what I could to make their end quick and painless. I had no other choice. It was necessary to protect my children. Only I can keep them safe.
The Alliance sent me to bring you in, Major. Can't you see this has gotten out of hand? Don't you understand you are endangering your followers?
I respect that you have come under a banner of peace, but I cannot do as you ask. If you take away their father, my children will be helpless.
If you don't come with me, all your followers will end up dead. What kind of father lets his children die?
No, this was my fault. My children are innocent, pure. Please, I never meant for this to happen. I'm sorry.
Come with me, Major. It's over.
Wait, if my children see you taking me away, they won't understand. They will attack and you will be forced to kill them all. You have shown me the error of my ways, Commander. Now you must give me time to explain it to them. It is the only way they will understand. Please, give me 1 hour. After that, I will meet the Alliance authorities at the gates of my compound and surrender without violence. I give you my word.
I think it would be better if you came with me now, Major.
I must do everything I can to keep any more of my children from suffering. This is the only solution.
Hmm. I don't have much choice, or I have much choice for you, or I don't have much choice to not do it.
I'm gonna trust you. If you betray that trust, you and all your children will suffer.
I will not betray you, Commander. Thank you for this.
Your pilot can have an Alliance Command Patrol pick Major Kyle up. I just hope you know what you're doing, Shepard.
Father Kyle says we biotics have to stick together.
I kind of wanted action, but again, she's kind of growing in a way, but again, she'll threaten violence, certainly.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Admiral Hackett here, Commander. Your helmsman just forwarded your report on Major Kyle. We sent in a team as you instructed. Kyle's followers have disbanded, and the Major surrendered to us without incident. We'll make sure he gets the help he needs. To be honest, Shepard, I thought this thing was going to end in a bloodbath. I don't know how you did it, but you saved a lot of lives. Congratulations.
I need to get some water. I think Xander's also kind of just beginning to think of like she's almost like, as much as she like regrets some of the stuff that's been happening with like the innocent lives that were taken at the on an asteroid basically. She kind of regrets that a bit, but she's also like being merciful is a little weird for her. Even if it involves intimidation, it's kind of like yeah. she misses the action. But there'll be plenty of opportunities for that, I suppose. Oh, dude. Let's see if there's some other missions to be done there.
Message coming in.
Of course.
Patching it through.
I've received some troubling information, Commander. We need your help. Someone is killing former Alliance scientists. There have been 4 deaths in the past month.
Former scientists? Sounds like someone has a project they'd like to keep secret.
All 4 scientists worked on a classified project in Macuse. There was a brutal massacre there years ago. An entire unit was killed by thresher maws.
Who's?
It's classified as a
One of the
natural
Kuze?
hazard, but the project dates coincide with the attacks.
That can't be a coincidence.
There was one other scientist on the project, Dr. Wayne. I'm transmitting his last known coordinates. Good luck. Fifth fleet out.
I swear we go there happens to be got deposit survey. Do we get anything for this? By the way. On Tarama. Oh, we can land. Let's wait on that. Cluncory. Survey. Matriarch ratings recovered. Scans of the planet Cluncory revealed the cockpit of a Volus trading vessel. There are no signs of the rest of the ship, but the salvage team discovered one of Matriarch Dilanaga's writings in the ship's systems. Just watch, we won't find any wreckage here at all. I actually like read the description of this planet. It's a little greener. There is some debris. Sci-fi debris now.
You lead, I'll follow.
Fun target practice. Turian corpse. Turian things recovered. It's included what happened in this Turian. We had an ancient paper book on the Buster outpost insignia printed on the cover. That's interesting. We have some enemies. Enemies everywhere. Literally taking pot shots at us.
Area secured. Securing point.
Okay, finally some action. Oh. Everyone's dead. Boring. Aha.
Take cover! Go, go, go! Hold the line! Go, go, go!
Oh, come on.
Enemy is everywhere!
That's just bad form.
Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line! You must die! Enemy is everywhere!
Really?
got no grief with you. All I want is this bastard.
Please! He's a madman! Mr. Toombs, you're insane! You need help!
It's Corporal! Corporal Toombs! You don't get to lie!
It's gonna
Today.
squeeze into small
Today it all
spaces.
comes out.
What are you talking about? Why do you want to kill this man?
Want? What I want is my life back. I want to go to sleep without screaming in my dreams. I want the people who sent me to Akuz brought to justice.
Can't you see that Toombs is crazy? Shoot him!
But if I can't get that, I'll have to settle for killing the men who took my life away.
What did the doctor do to you, Corporal?
We were on Akuz. When the Thresher Maws hit, my entire unit was wiped out. The Thresher Maws, the scientists were studying them. They let them hit our unit just to watch. I woke up in a holding cell. The scientists were delighted I'd survived. Now they had someone to run tests on.
You're killing them because they killed your unit.
You can't believe Toombs. He doesn't have any proof. I demand a fair trial.
Ever had Thresher Maw acid in your veins? I have. They wanted to see what it would do. They're part of some organization, Cerberus, that runs secret tests like this. They treated me like a lab animal. This is justice. This man deserves to die. So, are you going to kill me or not?
Corporal, if you kill him, you're a criminal. But I'm a Spectre. Nobody will question me.
You can't kill me. You don't know who you're dealing with.
He killed my whole unit. I have to take him down myself. It's the last thing I have to do.
No. The last thing you have to do is keep going to show these bastards who won.
It's really over? Maybe the screaming will stop now. I don't know.
All you can do is keep going. Joker, tell the 5th Fleet we need a ship for pickup.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Tim stares at the scientist's corpse. His hands balled in the fist. Slowly, with visible effort, he opens his hands and exhales. You catch his eye and gesture toward the door. He won't be left behind again.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
I reviewed your report on the situation, Commander. It's unfortunate Dr. Wayne ended up dead, but based on your report, your actions were understandable. Corporal Toombs seems to have found some closure. Hopefully with therapy, you'll have a normal life again someday. Thank you again for your assistance, Commander. 5th Fleet out.
The Armstrong Nebula.
Message coming in from the brass at Arcturus. Patching it through.
Normandy, Admiral Hackett here. We're getting reports of a marked increase in Geth activity in the Skillian Verge. Surveillance drones have identified Geth outposts on 4 different planets in the Armstrong cluster. We need someone to take them out.
We have any idea what they're after?
Hard to say. They may be just gathering intel on us. Or maybe they're setting up staging grounds for hit-and-run attacks on human colonies.
It could be the first wave of an invasion.
Let's hope not. We need someone to investigate this, Shepard. Finding Saren is still your top priority, but you've got experience fighting a Geth. You're the logical choice to take out these outposts. We're transmitting all the locations of known Geth outposts in the Armstrong cluster to the Normandy now. Admiral Hackett out.
There's lots of systems.
Commander, urgent message from Alliance Command coming in. I'll patch it.
Okay.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett from Alliance Command. We've got a situation here, and you're the only one that can handle it.
How come every time there's a problem, you end up running to me?
Inspector Shepard. And this isn't some run-of-the-mill mission. There's an Alliance training ground where we test weapons and technology in live fire simulations. One of the VIs we use to simulate enemy tactics in the drills is no longer responding to our override commands. It's gone rogue.
Are you telling me this computer is thinking on its own?
We're not stupid, Shepard. This is a virtual intelligence, not a true AI. It's not self-aware, and it can't access any external systems. We didn't do anything illegal here. Virtual intelligence support is critical to our military success. VIs process thousands of status reports and react in nanoseconds. No human can do that. We need you to fight your way through the training ground of the VI core and manually disable it.
Can't you disable it remotely?
Our fail-safes aren't responding. The VI operates on a closed network. It can't affect any external systems, but we don't have any direct access to its processes. We could bomb it from orbit, but the damage to the facility would be catastrophic.
Well, that's the only way to be sure, though.
Have someone shut down the core. Someone like you. I know Spectres answer the Council, but you're still human. You're still part of the Alliance military, and right now we need you. The VI controls all the facility's weapons, drones, and automated defenses. You're the only one that can pull this off, Shepard. Good luck.
Hopefully it's actually in this system. I think it's in our own system. If I remember correctly, it's on the moon. Matrix Rays require Rectifier orbiting one of Jupiter's smaller moons. A recon team found no signs of life, but they did discover one of Matriarch Delenaga's writings. That's not what we're looking at. I guess this one isn't it? Yeah. Ray Ingri is a small, barren terrestrial world that possesses a reasonably temperate climate and number of useful resources. No mining up corporations willing to risk investment. A rogue planetoid dubbed VOTS by the initial Solarian surveyor team entered the system approximately 10,000 years ago and was trapped in a decaying orbit around Reingri and is nearing the end of its slow spiral inwards. Earthquakes and cyclonic windstorms are increasingly common on Reingri. Within a few hundred years, the planets will rip each other apart. Some Athari travel consortiums have already announced sponsorship of cruises to observe the spectacle. At the rogue planet. It is rather close, isn't it? Oh man. Trying to get some high ground here. Survey the situation. guess I do get credits for boost surveys. It's a bit too quiet. Oh, come on. A bit of husks. Garrus!
Perimeter secured.
Probably could use some grenades. In hindsight. Daily milk kits yet. There's a trap! I'm mirroring the item limit. I need to consider selling off some of this stuff. Faster.
One down, 3 to go. All clear.
I'm not sure if there's anything to debrief with regard to side quests.
Commander, something you need?
I have to go.
All right, see you.
Okay, I should probably at least head to the Citadel. Do some shopping. Do a shopping episode. I'll say, but I'll go ahead and do a hard save. Let's head over to the wall of patrons, which doesn't look nearly as cool without the graphics. Yeah, we have Aaron Man. He's our $10 patron. You two can help us get out of this hard drive situation. But you know, every little bit will help. Even a $1 contribution will get you on this invisible, cool-looking, otherwise cool-looking thing. Of course, you can also just do all the things that are listed. Oh wait, they're not listed here anymore. It's like all. I mean, I might have to like just be a little smarter and do so like actual text rather than. Actually, I probably should have done it in the first place. To just use actual text in OBS rather than some sort of image that is hard to edit. Anyway, yeah, we have, Twitter. I'm not sure if that's in the link. There is a link to the Facebook page, which will have more updates, including updates about the situation we face ourselves in right now. Find ourselves facing in, whatever. Anyway, we'll probably like this in blackout mode basically for a little while. But until next time, sayonara.